You need to slow down. Rest? What is that? Oh no, I have to get this done. Stop, slow down. Rest. It's time to what? Stop! Rest at the crossroads. Last time on Rest at the Crossroads, we talked about what happens when your plandisms turn down the can't keep up lane. My mom faced 20 rapid fire questions about aging, rest, and what happens when the program glitches. Welcome back to Rest at the Crossroads. I'm your host, Miss Y. In this episode, the body keeps the score, but who's keeping the body? This is episode number 2. This podcast lives at the intersection where age, calling, and capacity meet. We don't run from the crossroads, we rest in it. Last episode, we got our feet wet with the innate whole person wellness modeling. That's the framework for my mom's whole person health and wellness workbook, and she's back with me today. Before we dive into the physical, let's recap the map we're using. The innate model says you can't heal what you won't look at, and you have to look at all of you.
Good morning. How are you? I just want to say I've been going through some issues. Issues like eating too many potato chips. Guys, look, I'm Akila and I'm just being honest with you. I gained 10 pounds. I'm 10 pounds more than I want to be because I was stress eating. I want to talk a little bit about that, but right now I'm back on my game. I'm drinking a drink with kale and spinach and moringa leaves and apples and raisins and ginger and lemon. I'm back on my game. And when I see chips, I say no. I see chips again and I say no. And then I transfer that to my brain when I start to worry. I say, well, if I can do it with chips, I can do it with worry. I just say no.
I wish I had that no.
You can use my no, just say no. But of course you got to make it your no. Just say no.
Yeah, I think we should all have a little no in us, right? So, talking about potato chips, we're going to dive into physical. So, the 5 domains of wellness: physical, emotional, mental, social, and spiritual. Physical, your body, energy, rest, strength, limits, not just what it does, but what it's saying. Emotional, your feelings, grief, joy, anger, peace, the stuff you carry that doesn't show up on a lab report. Mental, your thoughts, beliefs, patterns, plandisms you inherited. Social, your people, who expects from you, who permits you, who you're performing for, the relationships that drain or sustain you. And spiritual, your God space, calling, surrender, rest. What you believe about being faithful when you can't do it all. So, Mom, you wrote in the workbook that the body bears the response of our thoughts and actions, and that physical disease is often the outgrowth of a problem rooted in another domain. For a woman who's been leading, building, and carrying ministries for decades, when did your body first file a complaint with management? And when it started slowing down, when it couldn't keep up anymore, what was it trying to tell you about your thoughts, your emotions, or your spirit that you weren't listening to yet?
That's a powerful question. Because when we think about who we used to be and who we want to be and how much time we have to make all of that happen, and then we look at our obstacles and our courage, that's a big ball of something. For me, when I was younger, I thought I could conquer the world. I mean, not when I was a little girl. When I was a little girl, I would sometimes just be very timid and sad sometimes. But when I got to a certain age, and I guess I was a young adult, I just thought, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to write this, I'm going to do this. And it was so much. Yet when I got in my late 50s, I start realizing, hey, I spent a lot of time working, a lot of time taking care of family, and the dreams that I had, I'm not in a position to do what I thought I would do. So that, to answer your question, when I start feeling the marks of not being able to keep up, that's how it manifested itself. Then I looked in the mirror and my face looked different and the skin was a bit looser. And so I felt some kind of way about that. It took me into spaces that reminded me of my mortality. And there's only so much time to do what we have to do. So maybe what I'm trying to do personally is not totally where it's at.
So when you first looked in the mirror and you started to see the physical effects of things changing, did you try to ignore it, like bury it and say, I don't want to deal with that? Did you try to medicate it? And that could be real medication or any way we try to medicate things. Or did you listen and say, okay, this is a slow down moment, embrace it or speed up? What do you do when you first see these physical manifestations of change for you?
Yeah, you said it. Speed up. I thought maybe I gotta hurry up. I don't have much time. I have to hurry up to do what I need to do. Hurry up to teach people about health. Hurry up to teach people about Jesus. I have to hurry up. And then I realized my inadequacy because what I'm trying to do, I can't do. I can't hurry up and teach people about Jesus and hurry up and teach people how to be healthy. I've always been limited. It was just when I got to this age that I understood my limitations. Before, I was euphoric. I was young. I just believed all kinds of dreams. And I suppose that's God's way of helping to propel us out of stuckness. But now I realize that perhaps, for real, my euphoria about it was not what I can do personally. It's about putting my horse in the race. It's just about putting my desires and my needs in the arena with everybody else. I'm not doing it all by myself. We're putting this together. And so when I realized my immortality, I also realized my need for other people, that we do this thing together. My desires that the world should be saved from destruction is real. I mean, that was planted in my heart by the love of God. If I want love for myself, I want it for other people. So that's real. But my thinking that I'm going to do so much on my own, that was not real. And when I got older, I realized, hey, that's not what God was saying to you, that you're going to do this all by yourself. You need to share.
The body filed a complaint and it
Hmm.
keeps the score. And
Hmm.
sometimes that score shows up in the parts of us that hurt or get tired or just won't keep up. But in the workbook, you don't just leave us with the complaint. You go straight to the ABCs of nutrition. You talk about plant based eating, you cite the studies, and then you hit us with this line: some of the things you are eating you and preparing you for an early grave. However, you can save yourself by choosing to eat healthily. You also say hunger isn't always the body's need for food, it's desire. So here's my question: when did you realize something you were eating was actually eating you? You did talk about potato chips. And what desire were you feeding that had nothing to do with your body being hungry?
Yeah, good question. So my desire for taste good, feel good food. It's familiar. We're all familiar with that. And it's been since we were born, when we nursed on our mother's breast or used the bottle or whatever it was that we were given to pacify ourselves. I got it. I got my lollipops. I got my bag of candy. We used to have penny candies, go around the corner to the store, eat our penny candies, pop sunflower seeds. There was always this oral fixation, this food, this we gotta have this. My grandmother made good 7-Up cakes and sweet potato pie. I mean, I've had it from since before I even knew anything. But there came a time when I started paying attention to what I was putting in my mouth and how it made me feel and how it made me look. I mean, poundage on my body, feeling what my stomach felt like after eating too much 7-Up cake or too much fried chicken or too much candy. I didn't feel good. I felt yucky. And I think we all feel like that. That's what those types of food do. That's what sugar does. It goes in there and it is very acidic. And so it makes the body work hard to bring the pH up where it needs to be. So when I start paying attention, I was probably in my late teens, I would try, because I wanted to lose weight, to try to curb my appetite. I start realizing there was a connection between my activities and what I would eat. Sometimes I would eat when I was bored. Candy would just make me feel good. If I felt depressed, it would make me feel good. If I felt inadequate, the food would just take me as an addiction to another space. It would make me feel good. But then I started paying attention to when I ate. Was I thirsty? Was I hungry? Was I lonely? Those things connected, and that happened to me at an early age. But then there came this fact that, how much power do I have to change this? Desire is a very strong trigger. Desire, it often overrides our reason. And so then there was this battle for my body. The frontal lobe started saying, hey, desire, I'm the one that rules in here. And so we're going to have a fight because desire doesn't give up without a fight. It reminds me of my grandmother's fried chicken, my mother's enchiladas, all those foods that say my family loves me.
Yeah, that sometimes is the hard truth, because I was raised eating right, eating healthy foods. As I got older, I feel like I have more room to mess up sometimes when I really don't. And sometimes my plate is preaching a sermon that I didn't ask to hear. Sometimes I see it and I'm like, "Oh, I guess I can get big." Those comfort foods, that desire that you talk about, I think that's something that we all struggle with. But in the workbook, you don't just leave us right there about desire. After you talk about desire versus hunger, you hand us tools to help with that. So, food journals, meal plans, healthy recipes, even space to brainstorm the why, what, and when behind our food habits. Because it's not just what's on the plate, it's the habit that put it there, like you talked about previously. So, we're going to talk about habits for a minute here. You are a huge proponent of a plant based lifestyle. It's not just something you teach, it's how you live. So, two parts, okay? How and why did that become a habit for you? And what advice do you have for someone listening who's sitting at the crossroads, who wants to change but struggles to make it stick?
My plant-based history comes from my dad and my uncle. My dad has since passed. My uncle is ill right now. Um, he told me later that he didn't continue with the plant-based diet, but it was actually instilled in me. I wanted to be like my dad. And in the early 70s, both of them became vegetarians. My dad, he was what we call lacto-ovo. He did eat eggs and cheese and milk. When my oldest daughter became an asthmatic, I took us off of the eggs and cheese and milk because it was suggested that she goes off of that. And I said, well, we can't eat that if she can't eat it because she'll be looking at us eat it. So our whole family went plant-based, totally plant-based. And that happened when I was about 25 years old. So I basically raised them plant-based. So that's what started my journey. So struggling. When I struggled the struggle, I would do all kind of tricks with my brain. I would see meat with blood on it and try to make it look all nasty so I didn't want to eat it. But when my grandmother and my mother cooked it or I went to a restaurant, that's not how it looked. It smelled good and it tasted good. So that didn't stick. It's not easy to move because of that desire issue, but you can. And the thing that helped me to move on to a plant-based diet is I cooked a lot of food at first. I would cook things that simulated those things I like. So my plate was full of all kind of things at first. Too much food, but it satisfied the taste buds. And thereafter, when my body got the goodness of the fruits and vegetables, this is the part that's joyous that you don't have to do. The body helps. So yeah, it's difficult at first because habits are boutons in your brain. Habits are real physical things in your brain. It's not just a thought. That is a real thing that has to be gotten around. They're neuronal pathways and they're easy to go down. A neuronal pathway is like tying your shoe. When you first start trying to tie your shoe, it was so difficult. But after a while, you do it naturally. That's because of neuronal pathways. And that's how we continue with bad habits. So to change to a plant-based diet is not easy because it has to go through neuronal pathways, but it is doable because there are many chemicals even in your brain that will help you to make changes. And with thoughts placed in the right space, you can do it. And also when you are around people that encourage that type of activity, that also helps. Now, why we should be on a plant-based diet? Plants are full of nutrients. Plants are full of nutrients that the body needs. Our colon is a long colon. That means that food that goes in the colon is going to be in there for a while. And meat gets stuck. And meat grows things in your colon. It increases your risk for colon cancer. It increases your body's potential to be acidic. And your body likes to be at a pH which is higher, which is more basic. So a plant-based diet is better for people. Lions eat meat. Elephants, giraffes, and people, we eat plants.
Okay, so for the person who says, I don't have time to meal plan, I don't like vegetables, and my family won't eat it, what's the smallest step that they can take this week? What's the 1% shift they can take?
Love that. Very, very important. Because if you try to eat an elephant in one bite, it's not going to happen. So, yeah, first, start drinking water. Okay? Drink some water. And if you don't like water, drop some lemon in it. It changes the flavor. It helps you to drink the water. Second, try a new vegetable, what? Once a week, once a day, just something new. This is not taking away, this is adding, because the vegetables themselves will add nutrients in your body that will help you to do better tomorrow. The vegetables actually do something for you to help you become what you want to be. And the third thing, exercise. Exercise is another thing that changes your brain to help you to do what you want to do. Now, some of you don't like to exercise. I know I fail in exercise a lot too because I don't feel like doing it. But if you don't like exercising, just take a 10-minute walk. If you want to listen to a program on your cell phone, take your cell phone with you and take a 10-minute walk to make it easier for you. Those are 3 steps.
Very good. I would say also, this is just my 2 cents. There are people who like to dance. That's a form of exercise. Get you a 30-minute dance routine in, do that. There are people who like to run. That's a form of exercise. Run for 30 minutes. People who like to walk. There's so many different things that you can do. You can even do chair exercise while you're sitting in front of your TV. So there are ways to kind of ease into that. So I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. What is one of your favorite recipes from the workbook? And give us a 1-minute sales pitch. Why does somebody need to try this week? What is your favorite recipe and why does somebody need to try this week?
Okay, I can say a favorite recipe, and then I can say something that might be easy, but I really like tofu. I don't know, tofu and me, we just a family. I hang out with tofu. So some might be saying, ugh, but tofu is really cool. You can make it taste like a little piece of meat. Tofu can be texturized. So you can put it in the freezer and then you bring it out and you texturize it like meat. But sometimes you don't have to put it in the freezer. You get a very firm tofu and you slice it and You can marinate it with lemon, with liquid aminos. You got to look that up on the internet because some of you might not know what that is. It's an unbrewed soy sauce, but to me, it tastes better than soy sauce. So I would say liquid aminos. You can use slap your mama seasoning or and don't slap your mom. You can use smoked paprika, whatever seasonings you like, within reason. We will talk later about what are more inflammatory and less inflammatory seasons, but make it nice the way you like to season. Use a little bit of oil to pan fry it. You don't want to pan fry in olive oil. And I put pan fried a tablespoon of olive oil in my recipe book. I'm always learning you're not supposed to heat olive oil. You would want to use avocado oil. You can bake it or you can fry it, a little bit of oil on each side. And tofu is nice with rice and broccoli.
Very nice. One of my favorite meals growing up was tofu, broccoli, and rice. And me and my cousin and my sister used to eat it. And we would sing this song, Tofu, Broccoli, and Rice. And our favorite part was eat the tofu first. So I know y'all out there like gag. But seriously, if you season it how you would season your meat, trust and believe. It's all about the texture. And we'll talk about that another time.
Miss Y makes a mean tofu steak. I mean, she puts time into that, puts it in the oven, and like, you should hear her husband talk about it.
Thank you. As a matter of fact, I should go home and make some tofu steak. But I want you to talk to the people listening out there, the leaders, the caregivers, folks in the can't keep up lane, just like you've been at some times. Where was your glitch this week? Talking about right now. What is the physical thing you are wrestling with right now? Because I want them to know that they're not alone in this. We all deal with it. And from that place, I want you to give them one practical way to find rest at the crossroads in a physical sense, not theory, not mental, but in the physical sense. What can they do with their body before this episode ends?
Very good. The rest piece, because like I said at the beginning, I'm just very ambitious and I'm trying to do this and trying to do this, trying to write books, trying to make videos, trying to make the world a better place to live and don't talk about my people. I'm trying to take care of all the Black people and have excuses for anything we might be doing wrong. But that has caused me so much overwork. I have become a workaholic and I have seen things pass me by because I am so intent on making a change in my world, a change for good. But we can always do too much of a good thing as well. So me, what I'm doing is resting and saying no to chips. I'm resting. And when I slow down and think, because if I want to get a chip, in my job, it's free flowing. It's not in my house, but I have to go places. And if it's there at my job, I have to say no. I have to slow myself down, feel my mouth water, and get some water and drink it. Make sure I have something as an alternative, an apple, an orange, and say no. And slow down and realize that desire will pass. If I give it 10, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and my brain comes back to me. When there's a desire and you have to grab something, you have to grab it quick because that's how it works. But if you just slow down, if I just slow down, then let that temptation and that desire pass, and I can fill it with something that works. So right now for me, I'm working on slowing down and resting, not being so ambitious, smelling the flowers, realize I am getting older, embrace the new me, embrace this. What happened to me on Friday, I was at the store, I was at Martin's, and I was looking in the produce section, and a woman came. She came, she's an older woman, and she started talking about these salads, and she just started talking to me. And I found out her name. I found out that she was 89, almost 90 years old, that she had taught aerobics until she was 80 years old. And here I was whining about being in my early 60s. I don't know, maybe she was an angel that God sent to tell me it's okay. Growing older is okay. I'm here with you in all these ages, and all of these ages are relevant.
Nice. That's very good for someone who is struggling with growing older, and all the things that come with that. I did want to go back quickly to an issue you talked about, the chips at your job. I was going to mention that as well. I mean, there's all types of free snacks. I feel like they should take that away and give me a raise instead, but I digress. For people who, they're struggling. Some people don't have enough to pay for lunch and dinner in one day. And if there's this type of meal or there's snacks, there's this and that at their job, what are some cheat codes? What are some things? Is it okay to reward yourself if you say, okay, if I'm good for 4 days out of the week and I reward myself with one bag of chips at the end of the week, does that help with the desire? Is it okay for people to use that? What is a quick strategy? Like you said, it happens real quick. Desire, it's there. I'm going to grab it. How do you deter that when you're in that moment? You wouldn't have the money otherwise to pay for these things outside of it being provided freely. What would you tell listeners about that?
Wow, wow, wow. Okay, first of all, those chips are not cheap. They'll cost you a lot. They're free. Um, there used to be a Lay's potato chip at no one can eat just one. There can be a fast from chips, and then you eat one chip, and those neuronal pathways that you gone start calling you. And one chip is not a lot. It doesn't cost a lot of calories. But that's not the issue about the chip. The issue is the desire and how it acts on your brain. I mean, you're married, you desire somebody else. One kiss, is that okay? Now, I'm not comparing a chip with a kiss or adultery by no means, but I'm saying it goes along the same neuronal pathways, so you need to pay attention. I would say for me, just like you said earlier, I start eating chips because like I don't eat like this all the time. This can't hurt me. This is just, this is not my junk food. This is somebody else's junk food because they brought it here. I can just eat a little bit. I'm a vegan. I'm a vegetarian. But I was wrong because I fell into that hole because the same desire worked on me. So I would prefer right now, I'm on raw foods, not totally raw, but I'm getting raw vegetables inside of me because I believe that the enzymes in those raw vegetables are going to change the chemicals in my brain to help my desire to desire that which is good. Perhaps even if I get those chemicals in my brain, then one chip won't take me over the cliff. But I'm not going to depend on the chips that they put in my job so that when I'm stressed because of, what I've seen in my work and I just need to bite something or somebody, I have that chip, there's going to be some stress eating going on. And that stress associated with that chip might do something in my brain that might cause me issues in dealing with my desire. And I think from a physical standpoint and the emotional standpoint, that's how it is connected. We need to learn how to disconnect our desire with hunger. And sometimes we're eating when we're actually thirsty. We should be drinking water when we're eating chips. So we need to untangle that as well.
Definitely. I know that there is a book that came out that is like, you're not hungry, you're thirsty. And I intend to read that book. But after someone told me about that, I started to take notice of the fact that when I want to go and grab something to snack on, I really should be just drinking water. And then if you drink enough water, it fills you up and you don't really want to eat anything. But I appreciate your honesty talking about the changes that you're going through to be transparent for other people.
That's rest at the crossroads. When the body keeps the score, somebody's got to learn how to keep the body. The N8 Whole Person Wellness Modeling has the recipes, the journals, and the space to do this work on paper, not just in your head. We'll be back next week, and we're still talking body. We're getting into fresh air, temperance, and wouldn't you know it, rest, the kind you don't have to earn. Until then, if you're at the crossroads, don't run, sit down, breathe, and let your body catch up. Meet Akila Karanja, wife, mother, songwriter, mentor, preacher, teacher, missionary, nurse, author, practitioner, youth leader, entrepreneur, and cartoonist. But wait, there's more. Join Akila's mission for whole person wellness. For 30 years, Akila has dedicated her life to empowering her children, her community, and her patients with holistic health practices as a teacher and family nurse practitioner. Now she's taking her expertise beyond the doctor's office and into your home. Introducing the Whole Person Wellness Modeling Workbook and companion video series, your roadmap to transforming your health. Don't just know about wellness, live it. Get your toolkit today and start your journey to whole person wellness. Akila's commitment is clear. She wants you to be well. Don't you? Whole Person Wellness Modeling by Nature's Aid for practitioners and patients is an ongoing wellness initiative of the parent company Creation of Kids, LLC. Nature's Aid is currently in collaboration with Berean Transformation Center to make a change in the lives of its members and surrounding community.